This story happened to our family. Help. My wife and I live in the village. One evening, the children were put to bed. They were small. One was 5 years old, the other was 6. The lights were left on to see what was going on in the house, because he and his wife decided to go to the neighbors who lived across the street, have tea with them on the veranda and chat. There was a great view from the windows of the room where the children were sleeping, so you could notice any movement and come if something happened. Anyway, we sat and talked. Then I looked at the windows, then my wife. After some time, we went out on the porch to smoke, when suddenly I saw the silhouette of a man in the window of our house. A slight shudder went through my body. He took off and ran to the children, fearing for them, but when he found himself in their room, he found no one. The little ones were sleeping as if nothing had happened. I looked into the other rooms, as well as the attic, just in case. You never know, this stranger hid. However, to his surprise, there was no one in the house. Maybe I imagined it? I thought. When I went outside, I saw my wife at the porch. She asked, "What happened?" with dumbfounded eyes. I told her that I had seen the silhouette of a man in the window of the room where our children were sleeping. In general, I didn't believe it. Returning to the neighbors, while telling her the story again, we looked around. A shudder went through my body again. "Don't you see a man there?" I asked my wife, to which she replied in a frightened voice, "I see." We had already run together, but once inside, we found no one again. We decided to do this. My neighbor and I stayed on our porch, and the neighbor and his wife crossed the street and began to observe their actions in the window so that the wives would give us a signal when this strange man appeared. We didn't have to wait long. The neighbor waved, and my friend and I flew into the house, but nothing. Or rather, no one again. Then I saw in the window how the neighbor was waving at me, and my wife was running towards us. I don't know why, but at that moment I felt so scared that I grabbed the children and screamed, "Let's get out of here." He rushed out of the house. The neighbor followed me without talking. Once on the street, I saw my wife running up, who sighed and said, "Ah, thank God you left there." I asked her what she saw, and she described the following picture. This strange man. He didn't disappear at all, and we didn't see him when we entered the house. And that's not the worst part. The scariest thing was that huge claws extended from his fingers as soon as they were in the room. This ghost or imp has already made a move to attack us. I don't know if he could have done it or not, but I don't want to check, but we got out in time. That night we decided to spend the night with the neighbors. When we approached their house, we looked back to look at our window. The man was standing in the same spot and smiling maliciously.